Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem El Shai Bashem Rakakodah. Shalom to the 144,000 the rest of you elect out there. Shalom to you all. I'm going to play from this site here, which is the Blue Letter. You have, if you're not aware, you have right here, when you go to whatever chapter, book or chapter, you hit audio, Bible. You get this right here, scroll down. You can listen to it in the King James, New King James Version, dramatized, NLT, NIV, ESV. So what I did was I went to the Isaiah chapter 13 in the NLT, and I'm going to play it. And this is fair use. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's a little bit different from the KJV. And when you read this or listen to it, it jumps out to you, and it just you picture Babylon the Great. For the ones you who know where Babylon the Great is or what Babylon the Great is. So as I was listening to this, it just pictures that form in your mind. So what I'll do is I'm going to just play it, and I may just hit this one chapter and just put it up, see what happens, or I may go to other chapters dealing with the downfall of Babylon. So this will be, you can say this is the first installment of the downfall of Babylon. So these are scriptures on the downfall of Babylon the Great.
Isaiah son of Amos received this message concerning the destruction of Babylon. See the flags waving as the enemy attacks. Cheer them on, O Israel. Wave to them as they march against Babylon to destroy the palaces of the high and mighty.
Okay. It says, from the first verse, Isaiah son of Amos received this message concerning the destruction of Babylon. So you don't know what Babylon is. You don't know if it's talking about. First thing coming to your mind is, that's talking about the Neo-Babylonian Empire. So when you read the second verse, or listen to the second verse, raise a signal flag on a bare hilltop, call up an army against Babylon. And Babylon wasn't taken down by an army, it was a surgical strike. It was Darius that put the order out to kill the king of Babylon and his lords, because they were full of drink, so their gods were down. So it was a surgical strike. So they didn't have to shoot arrows. They didn't have to kill a lot of people. Babylon did not assemble their army. They didn't have to destroy any buildings, so they did a surgical strike to the leadership, and they just made what's known as the Medo-Persian Empire. They just made it a province of that empire. So it says, raise a signal flag. That's our job. Raise a signal flag on a bare hilltop or a mountain. The bare hilltop is talking about this place right here. See, this is why you don't go to Kenya. You go to Kenya, you get rocks thrown at you and shit. It says raise it right here to the top of the mountain. Right? Kenya's not the top of the mountain. Papua New Guinea is not the top of the mountain. It's right here in America. The focus is here in America. I did a bunch of videos on that subject. And I see, if not all, but some of these elect members, they might wind up having to come to New America. It might come a point where the various states in the United States that are members of GMS might have to come in New York. And but we'll see. Either way, the elect will be delivered whether they're in Babylon the Great or in another country. Read Matthew chapter 24. It's a raise a signal flag on a bare hilltop, that's America, call up an army against Babylon. And that's what we do. We're summoning an army against Babylon to the Lord. We're asking Yahweh Shem Yahushua to take this place out. Wave your hand to encourage them as they march into the palaces of the high and mighty. The high and mighty represents Esau. They don't want to acknowledge that they're Edomites. They don't want to admit that they're the Edomites. But if you're well studied in the scriptures and you're a scholar, because even the blue letter, they're not Roman Catholics. The writers, the opinions, or the interpretations of that's found in not the blue letter, but the Bible Hub, they're not necessarily Roman Catholics. They're Christian scholars. So even they make references to the Apocrypha. A lot of times I'll go to the Bible Hub and I'll read something. It'll be speaking about Alexander or Antiochus, and it'll actually give you precepts found in the Apocrypha. So the Apocrypha is a very important book, and it's part of the book. So let's listen on. Okay, let me read the third verse. I, the Lord, have dedicated these soldiers, and these soldiers are the missiles. For this task, yes, I have called mighty warriors to express my anger. The mighty warriors are the missiles, because these warriors will not back down. They will not show cowardice, because they're going to be programmed, and they will rejoice when I am exalted, and we will rejoice when the Most High is exalted. So let's listen on.
I, the Lord, have assigned this task to these armies, and they will rejoice when exalted. I have called them to satisfy my anger. Hear the noise on the mountains. Listen as the armies march. It is the noise and the shout of many nations. The Lord Almighty has brought them here to form an army. They came from countries far away. They are the Lord's weapons. They carry His anger with them and will destroy the whole land. Scream in terror, for the Lord's time has arrived, the time for the Almighty to destroy. Every arm is paralyzed with fear. Even the strongest hearts melt and are afraid. Fear grips them with terrible...
Yeah, because when you go to Luke 21, it says their hearts failing there with fear for those things coming upon the earth. Those things coming upon the earth are the missiles. A lot of them are going to look up into the sky. They're going to see the missiles come. They're going to see the sky darken. And they're going to stroke out. They're going to catch heart attacks and drop dead. They're going to shit on themselves. They're going to pee on themselves. They're going to throw up. They're going to freak out. You're going to have women with babies and baby carriages. You have pregnant women, old people. You're going to have Jake, Esau, the other nations. And when this destruction comes, it's going to come when everything business as usual.
Pangs like those of a woman about to give birth. They look helplessly at one another as the flames of the burning city reflect on their faces.
As the flames of the burning city reflect on their faces, their facade.
For see, the day of the Lord is coming, the terrible day of His fury and fierce anger. The land will be destroyed, and all the sinners with it. Be black above them. No light will shine from stars or sun or moon. I, the Lord, will punish the wicked for its evil, and the wicked for their sin. I will crush the arrogance of the proud and the haughtiness of the mighty. Few will be left alive when I have finished my work. People will be as scarce as gold, more rare than the gold of Ophir. For I will shake the heavens, and the earth will move from its place. I, the Lord Almighty, will show my fury and fierce anger. Everyone will run until exhausted, rushing back to their own lands like hunted deer, wandering like sheep without a shepherd. Anyone who is captured will be run through with a sword. Their little children will be dashed to death right before their eyes. Their homes will be sacked, and their wives raped by the attacking hordes. For I will stir up the Medes against Babylon, and no amount of silver or gold will buy them off. The attacking armies will shoot down the young people with arrows. They will have no mercy on helpless babies, and will show no compassion for the children. Babylon, the most glorious of kingdoms, the flower of Chaldean culture, will be devastated like Sodom and Gomorrah when God destroyed them. Babylon will never rise again. Generation after generation will come and go, but the land will never again be lived in. Nomads will refuse to camp there, and shepherds will not allow their sheep to stay overnight. Wild animals of the desert will move into the ruined city. The houses will be haunted by howling creatures. Ostriches will live among the ruins, and wild goats will come there to dance. Hyenas will howl in its fortresses, and jackals will make their dens in its palaces.
Yeah, this is poetic for this place will become, when the fire subsides, the smoke clears, then this place will become a desert and a home for desert-type creatures. That's all it's talking about. So that's what Isaiah saw. And he wrote, he saw the fire, he saw the missiles come, he saw the people crying and screaming and dropping dead and stroking out, catching heart attacks, throwing up on themselves, running, screaming, weeping and gnashing of teeth, wailing meaning to cry with anger, anguish. And he saw that. So the spirit in the vision had him look up into the skies. It was daytime. The skies were clear. It was business as usual. And the sky darkened. And the missiles came, where some of the prophets, including Isaiah, John, other prophets, saw the stars falling from heaven. The stars falling from heaven were actually missiles. That's mentioned in Revelation chapter 6. So when you listen to this and your eyes are open, your third eye is open, your pineal gland is not what's the word calcified. You can decalcify your pineal gland and not see anything, and you can have a calcified gland and see everything. Because if you're a man of the Lord, the Most High can still give you this message. This is why we push, taking the right herbs, eating the right foods, get your body in tune. If you ever played an instrument like a guitar, a professional guitarist or piano player, before they perform, they tune their pianos and the guitars and so forth. They don't just go out there and play because they'll sound like crap. So you can still play. You can still get visions with a calcified pineal gland. And I'm gonna go into that. See, when you go into these scriptures, you got to go into the science of these things. Your spirit Yahweh Shai's spirit was open. His pineal gland was crystal clear. So this, what you just heard about these different desert animals, he's just seeing. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai showed Isaiah the missiles coming, the sky being clear day, no rain, nice day. People are taking care of business. There's a man and a woman walking down the aisle, saying their vows. Pregnant women, cars driving back and forth. Stores are open. People are counting money. People that do drugs are doing their drugs. And then everything's going to go dark, and the missiles are going to come and destroy everything in this place, because it says the whole land in the original King James. So John saw all of this, and then he saw Yahweh Bashim Yahushai fast forward the vision and showed them what it's going to look like when the smoke is clear, when the fire is out. When the fire is out, you're going to have smoke billowing. This is what happened at the World Trade Centers. Because we went down there, I believe it was a week after, and it was crowded, man. You had people come from different parts of the country and around the world, and they were praying for the souls. We remember that. We came down Broadway, and that was on a Saturday night. And when you go down there on a regular day, it's not crowded. But it was crowded for a good couple of months. People came from all over, and the smoke was still billowing. I think we went down there 2 weeks after, because you couldn't even get down there a week after. You couldn't get down there. For that whole week, you couldn't get down there. For the next 2 weeks, you couldn't get down there, because there was nothing but traffic. But I believe it was the second weekend we drove down there, and we drove, I believe it was Broadway, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a church, an old church with a graveyard, small graveyard in the back. And when you look to your right, you would see two of the, you see one of the buildings, one of the main buildings, and then the other tower. Then you had tower number. And I've been to all those buildings. I've been to both of those buildings. I've been inside them buildings. I never went into building number 7. I passed building number 7. But the two main buildings were the two towers. And one tower was on one side of the street, the other tower was on the other side of the street. I remember I was doing deliveries down there when 93, when there was a bombing down there, and I hated to go down there and do deliveries. When you go down there, you would go into the basement, into the mailroom. 2 blocks from the entrance, they would pull you over, a couple of security that can carry, firearms. These were like police. And they would check you. They'd go into your van, ask you what are you here for. You say you got a package. They look at the package. They see the addresses to one of the World Trade Center buildings, whatever side you went on. So they would check you, then they would let you go a block down. Then there was another group of guys that would check you even more thoroughly, and they would look at you, see where your spirit's at. Then there was a third stop where you had a booth there where people checking you, check your license. They would enter your license into a computer system, and then they would let you go, and you would go, they say go straight down, and you would see the mail room. Then you go to the mail room, you drop the mail off, signed off on it, and then you left. And the same thing happened on the other side, where they had a mail room, because you could not go in the building. You could not go, well, it's on the 50th floor. Well, you can't go up there. And if they wanted the package immediately, they would call a person, and the person would come down from the 50th floor and come to get the package. But most of the time, it would be in the mailroom. So I used to hate going down there. And that was in 93. So we're talking how many, what is that? 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2000. We're talking about 8 years later. And I was doing deliveries. I was outside of the city. I was outside of the city. I was doing deliveries because I covered Connecticut, New Jersey, and New York. For the most part. Sometimes you go further than that, but basically you cover the 3. It's called the tri-state area. And when that happened, I was allowed to deliver, and then I believe it was 11 o'clock, 11:30, that they just closed everything down. It was like a how can you call it? Like an executive order, a state executive order, that everything had to close down, and there was no flights, no flights, no commercial flights. The only planes were military planes, fighter jets. And you look up to the sky, you can, hear the difference between a fighter jet and a regular commercial airline. And you look up in the sky, you see, you might have seen a military helicopter, a chopper. So it was an airy thing, and I was in New York at that time. And, you know, people went about their business like it was going to be a normal day. And that happened, people not knowing what the hell happened. You know the whole backstory. You know the whole backstory. You know what happened after that. You got the whole Alex Jones thing and the conspiracy theorists. And this is, hey, this was long before YouTube. This was well, actually, this is that was in 2021. YouTube came on the scene. That was 2001. 2001, YouTube came on the scene sometime in 2005. IUIC came online and GOCC came online 2006. I knew about it. We used to watch them guys on videos. They put up a few videos here and there. And I said, I said we should go on. We're not going to go on. In the summer of 2007, July. It was like the last week in July. We put up our first video on YouTube. And then we just just be out there all day. And you have like 35 parts to that video. So all the attention was put on GMS. These other camps out there, they grew wings on their back because of us. They didn't want to rock the boat. You understand? So, hey, we're in that time. We endured. Scriptures say, he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. And we can see, thank the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai for a man such as Donald Trump. Because he got the whole world. Babylon the Great is isolated right now. Babylon the Great is isolated right now because of the king of Babylon. He's really going to get this place shook up. Now you can see why they shall hate the whore. Let's listen to a little bit more. It's a few seconds left.
Babylon's days are numbered. Its time of destruction will soon arrive. Power reaches throughout the world. The Lord Almighty has spoken.
So that's all I'm going to deal with. Anyway, with that, let's hope this goes through. Let's hope there's not a copyright thing. This is fair use. Fair use. I'm not making any money on this. But when I listen to this, you get pictures in your mind of Babylon, of America. And you see, you picture in your mind people walking down, buying stuff, man and woman holding hand, a woman with a stroller with a baby and maybe a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. You know, you see old people, you see cars go by, and all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. And these people don't know what's going to happen. Trump doesn't know what's going to happen because Trump is a little guy. He's middle management. You know, that's all he is. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. So this is I guess you can call this installment 1 of the downfall of Babylon, or however you want to call it. And I can see it crystal clear, like I said, just by listening to these scriptures here, this chapter. Shalom. On to the next.